What's up, everybody? I'm Justin Maytact, and I'm here with my sister, Melissa Matact.
Hey, everybody.
We are Room 51, where we talk all things board gaming. Today, we're joined by a very special guest, Andy Aerosmith from Potable Gaming.
Hi, everybody, how you doing? Yes, you nailed it. The amount of people who get that word wrong is entertaining. Well played. Hi, guys. How everybody doing?
Potable Gaming.
And we are very...
That was so much more cockney than I think it was meant to be.
Oh, I love it. And today we are doing a roll for thought where we're going to talk about the notion of game killers. What is a game killer? How does it affect board gaming? And just our thoughts on the concept of a game killer. So, Andy, since you're our guest, why don't you start us off?
This is an interesting one for me because obviously it's one you hear quite a bit, and then it often factors in like when you're buying a game, because we've been collecting games now for sort of 5 years or so. So there's a lot of games that like came before, which are like, oh well, this has been killed now, and discuss. But I also think it's a weird one. Like, does a game really get killed by something else?
Yeah.
Like, does it mean it's no longer valid? So like the obvious one is the Splendor versus Century one,
Yeah.
which I don't really have a horse in this race because we own Splendor, but we're not buying Century until the whole Golem trilogy is ready. But like, does that kill? Like, is there a reason why you can't play Splendor again? Would you never play Splendor again? I can kind of see why people have that. I think I'm going to try and stop before I go into a full like villain monologue on this. I think almost like there's a reason behind having that killer terminology. Is if you are a collector or a curator of a games collection. Like I'm unashamedly a collector. I have a ridiculous. We bought an extra house with a third bedroom just for games, and
Dreams.
we don't. Oh, dude,
Yeah.
it's amazing. Like, if you ever have guests around, yeah, we bought an inflatable mattress. You sleep among the games and the comic books. That's where you stay. So having multiple games that's like the same type doesn't necessarily bother us. But I know I can see if you have like, oh, I'm only going to keep 50 games, which I know somebody who does that keeps only 50 games at one time. Having one that's like, is this the better version? Kind of makes sense. But yeah, I don't know. I'm going to stop before I ramble on. I mean, what do you guys kind of call on that one?
Yeah, I guess this is something that Justin and I have spoken a lot about off podcast. We've actually even recorded this episode before, but it was an absolute mess. It was one of our I think it was our very first episode, never
Yeah.
aired because it was like it's a hot mess. But anyway, it was something that we had spoken about, and I think I, for one, I don't quite like calling something a game killer.
Yeah.
I'm just like, first of all, I think it feeds into this whole cult of the new, and I'm all about cult of the new. I'm buying new games all the time, right?
Yeah.
But I think it feeds into the FOMO of it, right? Like, oh,
Yes.
now everybody's playing this game that's so much better than the one. Like, this one actually is dead now. Why would I play this? Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and I was even thinking one review. It was actually by Tom.
Yeah.
Good old boy, and he was talking about Hail Hydra, the board game, and he
Yeah.
was like,
Mm.
"I'll never play Battlestar Galactica again," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Shut up!"
He also said horrified is a pandemic killer for him too, no? Or is
He
that
did
somebody
at some
else?
point. He says
Okay.
crazy things. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll yell at
Where
my
you dead?
screen at him.
And I think that's like the weird one. And Horrified and Pandemic, I think, is a really good version of that because why is it killing it? So there are definitely games I've had that have killed sort of the gateway game. So I often spend a lot of time as like the teacher of games. We have a lot of friends who have young kids who don't have time to go get games. So my partner and I will go get games and we'll go like, right, the kid's in bed, we'll come round, we'll play a game. And we curated a small list of games to teach new people. So like Pandemic's one of those games. We don't play it much ourselves. If someone else is like new to the hobby, we'll try it, we'll play it. But I wouldn't say like any other cooperative game is going to get rid of that because that game might be the perfect one for somebody. Or I have the Ghostbusters Blackout, which is also an amazing co-op. We haven't played it's really good. And I'm like, I know for a fact who I'd play that with over who I'd play Pandemic with because I think they'd get more out of the Ghostbusters one. Personally, I would probably, if you'd ask me to choose, I'll choose Blackout over Pandemic. But I would say I'm not keeping them both because somebody else is not going to care for Ghostbusters, but they're really going to enjoy the idea of playing Pandemic. And you got to keep them on for that reason, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I think it kind of goes back to I like the analogy you used, collector versus curator.
Yeah.
For me, and I think for a lot of board gamers, they're collectors, right? And then some people are like, okay, I have to calm down. I'm not going to have more than 30 games, right? And if you're one of those people, then I understand the notion of a killer for you. I still think that's too harsh of a term because it's more like this game kits out another game for my collection, but it didn't kill the game. Because in my opinion, let's say, for example, Pandemic, let's say I got rid of Pandemic from my collection. Pandemic wouldn't be dead for me. It wouldn't be like I see somebody playing Pandemic, they ask me to join, I'm like, no, that
Yeah.
game's dead for me. If you have Horrified, I'll play it. No, it's not like that for me. You know, the game's not wouldn't be obsolete. It's just okay. It's left my collection because I've limited myself to this amount of games. The idea of a killer makes it sound like okay, so you shouldn't buy this game. The game should be out of print by now. I don't know who's buying this still. This needs to end. Like it's too harsh of a term when it comes to gaming. You know, it doesn't make. It's not like technology where you need the latest tech, which is also kind of absurd. But in gaming, it's like, come on, this was a good game 10 years ago. It could still be a good game now. You know,
Right.
Yeah.
that's how I view it.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, and I've actually lost. I was so entrenched in what you were talking about that I lost what I was going to talk about.
I've
But
had
I
that.
got it though now. I got it.
Alright.
Part of me actually takes it a little bit personally, which is ridiculous. But when I like a game so much, and then a review comes out, or just some whatever, some random person says like, "This killed that game," I'm like, "Oh man," but like I really love this game. It's almost like when you love something, it almost like becomes part of your identity, right? Like,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
think that's why you could take things so personally about your game when somebody's like, "I don't like that game, it sucks," and it's like, "What do you mean? Are you saying that I suck?" You know. But
Yeah.
so when somebody says like, "Oh, that kills that game for me," I'm just, it leaves me so sad about it. I'm like, "But I love that game. What do you mean it's dead?" You know.
Absolutely.
And it's like sort of there's a thing I have that's a big problem I think around a lot of stuff, and if I ever come back on this, I'll probably end up using this argument again. Is that nuance is something that people are kind of forgotten about, like the idea that something
Yeah.
like, can be flawed, can be
Mm.
really good but still not great,
Hmm.
can be kind of bad but have great moments to it. And like especially in board gaming a lot at the moment, I'm seeing because of that cult of the new, because there's so much stuff coming out. It is this game is amazing. It is top 100 BGG level greatness, or it's garbage and you shouldn't even use it as a firelight.
Yeah.
Like, and like that's awful, man. Like if that game is maybe not as good as it could be, or you've played several other games now and go, you know what, now I get it. These games are much more fun. And if somebody said which one should I buy, I'd probably say try the other one. But it doesn't mean that the other one isn't viable, isn't good, isn't right for the right people, or doesn't have the right level. I mean, if we use again co-ops and things, is that if you want a really intense, super hard co-op, you might want Spirit Island, but I'm not going to play Spirit Island every day or every
Right.
time I want to play a co-op because that's going to melt my brain. But I'm going to go, that simple, lesser games. A theme. Theme's a big one. I think
Yeah.
we have 2 or 3 games that have a very similar kind of mechanic. I'm trying to think which ones they are. There's like Seven Ronin and something else which has a hidden movement on a map mechanic. My partner was like, "Oh, should we get rid of Seven Ronin?" I was like, "No, because what if I don't want that kind of crazy war game style thing that we had? I want that nice kind of classic samurai style. I want to get entrenched in a different world to that. Just because that game might do it a little bit better doesn't mean the experience is going to be better because of what we're looking for."
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. The way theme can play into it, where this theme might mechanically be better, but I love the theme so much in this other game that's like, no, I like this theme more actually. And people are telling me it's dead because of this other game. But
Yeah, when you were talking about nuances, I was even thinking about like the whole Exit and Unlock series that is coming out, and how some people feel that now time stories is like, we don't need time stories because we have all the
yeah,
fun in Unlock and Exit, like with the puzzles and everything that Time Stories has, and leaves out, I guess, some of the quirkiness that Time Stories had. But we just played the first scenario, Asylum, I think it was called, for Time Stories. We've never played it before, but I played it because I was like, well, I don't know. It was, people were raving about it when it came out, and now
yeah.
people are crapping all over it, like Catan and all these other things, right? But um, so I played it. And I was like, wow, no, I've played the Unlock stuff, And I love those things, right? I love the puzzles in them, and I even love some of the stories that come out of it. But Time Stories is different. I feel like kind of like oh, what's that video game? Assassin's Creed, where
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
going like through time and you're taking on different personas and everything. It has that wrapped into the game that these like unlock and exit series don't have, right? You're missing sort of some of that nuance there. So I wouldn't say that Time Stories is killed by these games, unless like all you were doing were the puzzles, right? Like if that was the only thing you liked about Time Stories, okay, fine. But I don't know, you're missing some of the nuance there, I think.
Yeah, I fully agree. Funny enough, it's like I played my very first exit game last night, and we have an unlock literally sat about 5 foot away from me that we ordered. A few friends have been playing games with over like WhatsApp and stuff, and like during lockdown, we've all got different unlocks. We're going to try and solve them, like sign them, and then send them around the country and pass them around. But that's by the by. But yeah, those things, like I really enjoyed the exit game. The story is not much to write home about. It's a fun little kind of it's a wrapper. It's a wrapper for a bunch of logic puzzles.
Mhm.
Whereas Time Stories, I know a lot of people have gone down it because I think the ending's apparently awful. I've not played it, but I've heard the ending really sucks.
Right. That's what I've
But
been hearing.
yeah,
Same.
but then sometimes the journey is just as fun, and like the thematics of it really intrigue me. And I've watched tons of TV shows which have terrible endings, but I can still go back and enjoy a lot of them for how good they are up until that point and all the moments. Throwing pens around, sorry. All like the moments and life that you get out of that. And I can see maybe Time Stories could be killed per se if you go, I don't want to have to play a campaign, because every game has a campaign now, which is time consuming,
Mhm.
pun intended. But if you want, yeah, like if you want like that one thing, like I was joking at my party, so like, you know what we could do exits for? Like we get an exit before we go on holiday, and we spend like one night in the bar at the hotel playing exit, and then we just throw it away, and then our luggage is a lighter coming back. But if I was going to say to my friends, let's all play a bunch of games, let's play Time Stories together. Yeah, there's different audiences for that. It's not just about the pure mechanics. I think it depends how invested you get in theme, which I, because you're a video gamer like I am, I think you are as well. Just like
Yeah.
we probably get more into theme, I think, because you often play games for theme and story and whatnot, and that kind of is a bigger part of the board game to me than I think it is to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. I wasn't sure what your take was going to be on this, on all of this, Andrew. So I was ready to like fight you to the death on this. But you're in like total agreement with us, and
Yeah,
it's
it's
totally
awesome.
fine. But I think that we are just about ready to go into our game, and I'm
Yes.
super excited for it. So Justin, why don't you let us all know what's going on?
All right. So this is a new thing we're trying out. Let's see how it goes. You can kind of also play along with us if you're watching. It's going to be 5-second summaries. I'm going to pull up a random game on my computer that I'll be able to see the name of. Now, 5 seconds to describe it. Melissa and Andy over here, once I'm done describing it, they're both going to be able to like put their thumbs up on the screen. And whoever's I see first, I'm going to call on them. They're going to then be able to guess the game. If they get it right, they get a point. If they get it wrong, it goes to the other person. And if that person gets it wrong, also nobody gets a point. And we move on to the next one. We're going to do a total of 10 games unless we need a tiebreaker. Then we'll move on. All right. Oh, little caveat also is that, so obviously I can't say the name of the game in my summary. I also cannot say any mechanics in the game. So, for example, if the game is a card drafting game, I can't say card drafting. All
Okay.
right. All right.
Should be fun. Should be fun.
It'd be fun.
Here we
So the
go.
thing I don't have is a timer to keep me in check.
All right. Oh my gosh,
All
I
right.
can't wait. And we're both wearing our Batman shirts, so we're gonna see who the
Yeah.
real Batman is.
Oh man, yeah, this is actually for a lot. I didn't even realize it now.
Yeah.
A lot is on the line right now.
Cool. Are you ready?
Yep.
I am
Ready.
so ready.
All right. And you gotta speak to your team without the other team knowing what you're saying because of stuff.
The Krypton.
Yes, you got it. Oh. I was gonna call on Andy.
Fine. Fine.
All right. I also need to keep track. Yes, it was the crypto. All right. Let me Let me do this.
I'm gonna use my hand.
Melissa
ready.
has
Use
0.
both.
All right. Is everybody ready?
Yeah,
Go.
I'm ready.
Oh, let me. Okay, and Oh dear. So you roll dice and you're trying to save people's lives. Melissa.
It is. Oh no. I don't know.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah,
I
go
Oh
cast
for
yeah,
it.
yeah. It's all you. It's all you.
Pandemic rapid response?
No.
Ah.
I
I know the
actually think
next.
I described this game wrong. This game's not a good game. It's called. Well, all right. I shouldn't say it's not a good game. It's an okay game. It's Hospital Rush. But once I read that name, I thought it was the sequel to Fuse. I don't
Yeah,
even
that's
remember
what I
what
was thinking.
I don't remember what the name of the sequel to Fuse was, so I just described the sequel to Fuse though.
Hospital
Flatline.
Rush.
Flatline is the sequel to Fuse.
Flatlines, yes, that's what I tried to describe, but I was actually describing Hospital.
Isn't Hospital Rush the Santimer David Turchi game?
Yes, it is. So that was on me. But it's all
I
right.
think I get that point.
Nobody gets that point. All right, is everybody ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Born ready.
Oh, so you're doing this to stop Cthulhu, but as a story. Go. Andy went up first.
Elder Sign Omens.
Wrong. What was that?
It said Cthulhu. It could be anything.
Arkham Horror, the board game, second
The board
edition.
game? No. Oh, Melissa, you disappointed me. I almost said, but you're living through this. It's the Living Tar game. Arkham Horror, the Living Tar game.
It could have been
Alright.
anything.
I know.
Right.
Because I knew the Cthulhu part was gonna be easy, but I was like, how do I say Living Tar game? All right, it's okay. I'm sorry.
I think out of
Say
all
Cth-
this, I think Justin loses.
The
yeah,
first,
I think like saying Cthulhu was like saying, so there's victory points involved.
yeah. All right, are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Oh, you're saving animals from dying out. Melissa.
Endangered.
Yes.
Yes.
Nice.
Nailed it. Finally
That's a
got
good one,
one.
too.
I'm on the
All
board.
right, so it's 1-1, and we are now on the 5th game.
All right.
All right, and go. Oh, classic gateway where you need to store points. Melissa's hands up first.
It's a ride.
Catan?
What the heck?
Yahtzee?
Carcassonne.
What?
I almost said Tile Lane. So I just switched it to you gotta store points.
When you
So
said
wait.
the classic gateway, I was like, Carcassonne. And he's like, it's got points. Are there points in Carcassonne? I remember tiles.
You like converted all into points. That was a great one. Everybody at home got it. I know you guys.
Yeah.
This is like I did a quiz a few weeks ago with some friends, and they were like, "All right, we're going to start in conditions. All right, what's the youngest player and as the starting condition?" I was like, "Almost every game ever made."
Yeah. Seriously, that one. All right. I'm gonna do good. Everybody trust me. All right. we're on
No,
the
I
fifth
don't.
game. This is hard, actually. I can't say any mechanics. My mind immediately jumps to that because that's how we describe games usually. All right. I got this. Okay. You have pop figures fight each other. Melissa's hand was up first. Sorry, Andy.
Funkoverse.
Funkoverse.
Yes.
That one wasn't too bad. Okay.
I was like, I know exactly what it is, and I was like, "What's it actually called, though?"
I actually have it right here in my room.
Oh, cheating! Don't point your hand out.
No,
I have at least one Funko in the building. I have one right behind me. There we go. Yeah.
I have
Nice.
one on my desk.
I have one up there. I'm not gonna grab it.
Groot I got in the loot crate.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
Loot crate,
Right,
if you
so
will.
scores 2-1 in Melissa's favor. We're on our 7th game. All right.
All right,
Ooh,
let's
Andy's
do it
ready.
up.
I love the conviction. All right, and you're chopping off people's heads. Melissa,
Guillotine.
guillotine.
Yes.
Nice. I don't think I've even heard of that. I'm like, that would have been a
Uh,
guess.
Oh,
So
really?
niche.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
don't
cool.
think
It's
I've
a
heard that.
line manipulation game.
yeah,
That sounds appropriate, to be honest.
yeah.
That, or it's like that log one where you hit with the plastic axe. It's got to be one of those two
Oh.
mechanics. I feel like.
Oh yeah, what is that one?
Chop chop lumberjack or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yes.
So we are on our 8th game now.
Okay.
All right, ready? You have to save everybody from dying. Andy.
The pandemic.
Yes.
Okay. No.
Thank God I said everybody because I was. All right. Awesome. All right. We're on our 9th game now. 3-2, Melissa's favor. Can Andy tie it up here? All right. And you need to control the land by dating provinces and stuff. Andy.
The Ridge.
Shoot.
No, not Blood Rage.
Oh really?
Melissa, do you have a guess? This one was
Risk?
tough. No. Dominion.
Ah.
You know, I was thinking Dominion, but the provinces. Yeah, you're right.
I forget what those things are in Dominion. Like it's
Yeah.
the type of builder I don't have.
It's like duchy and thing, or I don't know how to actually say. I'm gonna call it a duchy though. The other way I was gonna pronounce it was gonna get us flagged. So, all right. So,
What?
we are on the 10th. I'll tell you after. We're on the 10th game now. If Andy ties it up here, because it's 3-2, Melissa. If Andy ties it up, we'll go to the 11th game and so forth.
Not happening.
All right. Are you both ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Your famous writers going across the land trying to survive and stuff. Melissa's hand shot up.
7th continent.
7th continent.
Yes.
Nice.
I'll
be honest, I don't even know what the Sun Content's actually about. I just know everybody talked about it for ages. I didn't actually know who you were. Like,
yeah, I'm gonna say this. Melissa has an unfair advantage in this game because everything is coming from our collection.
Wait, really? But we don't have Hospital Rush.
We do. We just never played it. We won it out of one of those boxes things.
The fact you guys have a game you don't know you have, that's kind of amazing.
Well, I think that's Sabrina's.
Yeah, it might be. I was gonna say, I think that's actually. No, it might be Sabrina's. Yeah.
That's his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Also,
should have advantage though. It's
It's
it's mine. It's
Yeah.
my show.
All right. Well, I had fun with that. What'd you guys
Yeah.
think?
Yeah,
that was fun. That was stressful. I'm about to go on another board gaming themed quiz now as well for a couple of hours. So this is going to be good practice.
All right, awesome. Hopefully, also for people watching at home, let us know in the comments what you thought about this. If you were able to like play along and stuff, how you thought we did. My performance was a little shitty.
It was fantastic because I won.
Gateway game where you have to store points. But
Like the least good.
you literally made a joke before saying, just say how many games with victory points in it. And then I essentially did that. I told you guys that. Oh, man. Awesome.
All right.
Excellent.
Well, this has been another Roll for Thought. Thank you so much for watching and or listening. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Melissa McCack. You could also follow our Facebook page called Room 51. Andy, thank you so much for joining us today. Where can people find you?
So people can find me on Board Game Breakfast when I can get around to putting a segment on there. I have an Instagram, which is at Potable Gaming. I don't have anything else at the moment. If I do, we'll probably announce there. But I just am so lazy with other social media to begin with, and mostly the Instagram is the best way. Which I would promise I'll try and post more stuff on. But yeah, that's about it. I occasionally also hang around on the losers game streams at like 9 o'clock these days. Like I'll be there tonight actually. So if you're playing those, you might see me hanging around there as well. Normally doing badly.
Sweet. Yeah, although this will be airing probably a week later. So
Well, true. I mean, there's a good chance depending what game they're playing.
Gotcha. All right. Well, let us know
Awesome.
what you think of game killers, what you think of that notion. You've been listening to / watching Room 51. I'd like us to introduce you as like from Portable Gaming.
Yeah, go for that. That's how I normally do it. So,
Potable gaming.
Portable.
Portable.
Yep.
Potable.
Potable. Yeah, potable.
Potable. Potable.
Like
Potable
potable,
gaming.
dropping the R. Yeah.
Yeah, potable gaming. All right, I got this.
You have to say it with the accent. You have to.
I feel like I can't not say it with the accent.
It's interesting hearing Americans try my accent. That's fun, and I'm toning it down for you guys. Like,